everyone. Welcome to this episode 60 something. Today, I'm flying solo. Unfortunately, the co-hosts cannot be here today, but they will each be back. Welcome to this particular episode. We have a collector today, David Dickson, and I can't wait for him to show you his collection. And if there are any newbies watching who are new to collecting, this is what you want to have in your house as a place to show off your collection. Welcome very much to the show today, David.
Thank you, Ingrid. Thank you for having me. I've been wanting to say hello in person to you for years, so this is great. Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Believe me, the pleasure's all mine. We're going to get into, of course, we're on the clock here. I'll just mention that. I'm also fuzzy after a nice strong cup of coffee. It's pretty early in the morning. We are on the clock, so we're going to zip through all the topics today. We'll start with how you got into collecting cards, and after that, I'd really like it if you show us around your collection and how you set up your display, because it's really awesome. It's really
Sure.
So how did you fall into collecting?
No, go ahead.
How did you fall into collecting? What gave you the bite?
Yeah. So believe it or not, this is going to sound highly convenient, but what got me into collecting was really purchasing the vintage Star Wars 1977 packs that came out. I know this is going to sound crazy, but Star Wars was the very first movie. New Hope was the first movie I saw in the movie theater. Wow. And it was a movie I went and saw with my dad in Cape Coral, Florida. I was born in Tampa, and we ended up moving to Fort Myers, and I lived in various parts of Florida. But anyway, I saw Star Wars in the theaters. It was my first one, and I was immediately hooked, and I wanted everything. I wanted to be a part of everything Star Wars. I wanted Star Wars in my life. I was a kid. Darth Vader blew me away. I remember asking my dad if he was a real criminal. Like, did they go to the prison to get Darth Vader, like the actor or whatever? I didn't know any better. But in any case, that was the beginning of me getting on my bike and riding probably a mile and a half, 2 miles up to the local drugstore, which I think was Eckerd Drugs at the time. And I would go in and I would just be so excited to smell the drugstore. And that sounds crazy, because I knew when I was there, I was going to be able to go over and find the Star Wars packs of cards. So that smell resonated with cards. And back then, Ingrid, they were 25 cents a pack, right? So you could go right in there, and my allowance was probably like, I don't know, a buck and a half a week. So I got 6 quarters plus, tax or whatever. And I'd go in there and my loose change, dump it all in Star Wars cards and bring them in. And I was a young kid, but for whatever reason, I have no idea why, I was so into protecting them. So my cards went right into the box, and I was very careful with them. And I don't know why I felt that way, but it just made sense to me. I didn't want to play with them or put them in my bike or whatever. So I actually took care of them at 4 or 5 years old. So that was the beginning for me. And then from there, it was just a litany of hot and cold moments throughout the years. There was the dark period when I became an adult and I was too good for Star Wars, right? So I went through that, for 10 years or so, and then right back into it. I don't know, in the mid 2000s, I just jumped right back in, and I've never stopped.
It's funny how you're a real fan of something when you're a kid, and you get to this point, and all of a sudden you're like, no, that's kid stuff. You gotta put it away, and you always end up going back to it. It's just
exactly.
You always end up going back to it. But if you're gonna start in a movie, I mean, I can't imagine a better movie to start with.
Seriously, yeah. Well, it just changed me completely. So you wanted to see the room?
Yes, please.
Okay, let me show you. Let me start with so you guys can see it. So can you see the Luke in the middle up there?
Yes.
That was one of the first ones I bought out of packs, right, when I started buying, and then the Leia right next to him. And then so yeah, So that was the beginning. But if you look around, Ingrid, I got to start with your stuff here. So I have an entire top shelf in my room here that is all Ingrid Hardy sketch cards.
Oh God.
And so that, I'm a huge Ingrid Hardy fan for one, but
I really did like blue, didn't I?
you do like blue, but that's okay. So if you pan out, I have a lot of sketch cards and Ahsoka collection. I have a little Darth. I have various things. I like the Star Wars Visions. Marsha Parkins is represented down here with some Visions work that she did. But yeah, and so
Wow.
if we look over here,
Oh, look at all that. Oh my God.
yeah, so these top rows are the 2021 Galaxy Chrome. I have every atomic that came out. And then the bottom down here, I've got 80 of the 100 prisms. I need 20 more. So when this collection is done here, I'll have every atomic and every prism for the Galaxy 2021 set.
Wow.
So and then Ingrid, I have this guy down here.
Oh.
So that is obviously a 2018 Ingrid Hardy there. I'd still like to find the original artist that put that together, but I mean the original sketch that you did.
That was a painting. It was a large painting.
A large painting. That's right. That's what you told me. So I have some Galaxy 2022 here, and then over here, I'm a huge Lego fan.
Oh yes, Lego for the win.
So this is my own creation. This is an ad I built in 2012, and then the rest of these are UCS sets. But if you come over here,
oh, look at that. Oh,
I got this guy, and if I can get into him, this is my Lego R2D2. He's 1-to-1 scale.
Oh.
And I started working on him in 2010, and I finished him during COVID.
You're joking.
No, and he is currently being worked on. We're building digital instructions for him.
Oh, you created that set, did you?
What's that?
You created that on your own?
I did. Yeah.
Oh,
I went to Legoland in Florida, and I looked at their set, and it was neat, but it was too blocky for me. They had built a blocky frame.
Yeah.
And I came home that afternoon. I'm like, you know what? I think I can do better. So I built a full row of the body, and I tested it to see if I could do it. And then once I figured out that I could build the body the way I wanted, that was the beginning. I just went crazy after that.
Wow. Oh my God.
Yeah. So and then we got lighting in there and the whole 9 yards. And then
oh my God.
I've got my pit drone over here,
Ooh.
which he lights up. 3D Plastics built this for me. Pretty excited about that. I can change his light colors.
Cool is that ever neat? Oh, I love it. Oh,
Yeah,
that's outstanding.
And then over here, of course, this is a variety of Kotobukiya and Sideshow. I have a little non-Star Wars over here, so hopefully that doesn't get me in too much trouble, but my son's a big anime fan.
Oh, nice. It's all good.
Yeah, and then over here
Oh, I love
are
the
all my Black Series.
Wow. Holy moly, you have a museum in your house.
And this just happened. we have a collapse here with my Dark Troopers.
Uh-oh.
There they all are. I got Rebels, Bad Batch.
All those stormtroopers. Oh my God.
All those stormtroopers, yeah.
Wow.
And Rogue One.
Oh.
So, yeah, a little Mickey Mouse action here. But yeah, so I'm a big Black Series fan too.
A big what? A big black what?
Black Series. Those are all Black Series figures.
Okay. I'm not aware of those.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's just the quick tour. I'm into a lot of things.
There was a painting on the wall over there that you went right by. Who did that one?
Yeah, let's go back. Painting on the wall. What do I got? You talking about this guy?
Yes. Who did
Oh,
that?
that is actually a I got this is a print, and I got it at Celebration one year,
That's
and it's
beautiful.
signed by John Berg, and I believe that's Lauren Peterson. They were the designers of the ATSD model.
Oh, wow. Oh,
Yeah, yeah. And then over
actually, yeah.
here
Hmm.
is a few Ralph McQuarrie. I'm sure you'd
Yes,
appreciate
sir.
that. But, and then you can see his
Yeah.
initials here. Huge Ralph McQuarrie fan. I'm a big AT-AT fan, so I love the whole Empire and
Yeah.
Ingrid. That's why I have so many of your AT-ATs, because I just love AT-ATs. And then I
Look at
had
those
this drawing.
photos. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh. They are
so that's
gorgeous.
actually signed by Carrie and Luke,
Ah,
and then Carrie there, Ian. The armor, interesting story there. Her brother went to high school and was in the homecoming court with my wife.
no.
Yeah, so small world, right? So she was obviously a young girl back then. This is 30 years ago, but yeah, just it's this crazy small world we live in, I tell you.
That's
But
insane.
but
So
yeah,
so
go ahead.
this is quite something, this museum you have actually. How did you get it? Why did you start building it?
Well, that's a great question too. My son was actually the inspiration for that. So he wanted us to have a place for the collection, and I don't know how to do things small. That's just not in my DNA. So I actually had this was a workout room at one time, and I moved that workout room into a different place, and then I gutted this room, and I know you can't see, but over here there's actually a window too. I drywalled over the window. And so I just I wanted no sun in this room, but yeah, I just stripped it, gutted it, and bought a bunch of Detolfs and Vestas, and decided to, just do it right, really.
Wow. So you do you give tours? Like
I just did.
yes, of course, I totally get it. But I mean, to have such a beautiful place for all your collection like that, do you show people around in there, or is this where you go when you want peace and quiet? Or
Yeah, a little bit of both. I do come in here a lot. I'm big on Instagram as well.
yeah.
I'm not gloating, but my point is I'm big on Instagram, meaning I'm on it a lot, and I'm in my room building reels. So I am here a lot just because I need to be in here. I do actually do quite a few reels of the room, and then I post them on the Instagram. So I love being in here for that, So the Instagram allows me to continue to be active in here and doing things, and putting together reels so that I can, provide that for other people. But then I do have people come in. They're usually just friends and family, though, that are interested, and they come by and they want to see it. And of course, I love taking them through the room for sure.
So people like what you're doing then.
I guess so. It seems to be. And Ingrid, in full transparency, I started out with an Instagram account to show off all the cards, and really a lot of your work. A lot of the stuff that you did, and then one day I did a teaser video of the whole room. It went up to like 30,000 views that afternoon, but then a month and a half later, it's at 1.8 million views right now. And so that one really brought everybody to my Instagram account, and then I just started, putting more and more reels together. So it's not just cards, but I show off everything now.
But a lot of collectors, excuse me, from when I was doing the books before, there are a number of collectors that have contacted me to say they love collecting, but they just stuff everything in a box and then they don't really see it. So looking at this, I mean, you're the prime. Well, of course, not everyone has the space in their house to have a place like that, but it does make your brain kind of move a little bit and think, maybe I could show my stuff off.
Yeah.
It must
Yeah.
be very interesting for other collectors to go on your Instagram to take a look at that, which I'm going to ask you for your address shortly,
Of
so that
course.
people can go visit that. But since collecting is really your core motivation for having put so much time and effort into that, but you've learned how to build, I guess, how to renovate. because I get the feeling
Yeah.
you did that yourself. So your collection has really, your collecting habits has been really the motivation to kind of move you through your life a little bit.
It has, yeah, yeah. And to your point, I mean, I will be honest with you. When I built this, I had a plan, but I obviously didn't just fill it up right away either. So I built it about a year and a half, 2 years ago, and then I've iteratively added more and more to it. But yeah, I mean, I wanted a place to store my cards and everything I have, because to your point, I mean, when I dove back into cards again, really in the mid 2000s, I was doing exactly what you just said. I was jamming all my cards into a box, and then I had Lego in my room, just kind of here and there, and I had all my Black Series in boxes, and so nothing was out. And then so this room just allowed us to put everything on display at once, and then I've just added to it over time to continue to grow it.
What do you think? What do you think you're going to be collecting in the future? Are you going to Are you going to continue along the line of Star Wars? Or are you going to? Do you have other interests that you want to collect?
I do, but aside from the anime that my son likes, one of the things I've tried to control myself on is keeping my focus on Star Wars. There's a lot of places I'd like to go. I'm a big fan of Marvel, Spider-Man. I know it sounds crazy, I've got thousands of comic books from many, many years ago as well. I used to be a huge comic collector, and they're all sitting in boxes. So, but I've had to control my purchasing decisions because of the opportunity costs. And you can only buy so much, you can only have so much. And so I really try to control my purchases in the Star Wars theme if I can.
What do you like about the hobby of collecting? What do you like about trading cards and sketch cards in particular?
Yeah, it's neat. Well, obviously, I loved just the collectible nature of the cards. Obviously, when I was a kid, I loved having something nice, and I wanted to keep it and protect it. So there was something about that early on. I felt like I need to curate these cards, and that sounds crazy, but it was just kind of in my DNA. So I love that aspect of it. I am a grader. I do like taking cards and grading them, not so necessarily I can flip them, but because I just like knowing I have they're called gems or mint, the best card. I want to have the best card. And there's that aspect that I like about it. But Ingrid, one of the things that pulled me back into cards so much, again, this is going to sound convenient, but I love sketches and I love artwork. And I saw some of your cards and the Force Awakens, which is what I have so many up here. But I saw some of your work when I kind of started getting back into the interest of cards, and it just pulled me back in. I'm like, and not only did I want some sketches, I wanted all the sketches, right? Like I don't do anything half. I saw your artwork and I'm like, I got to go out and get more of this person's artwork. And so, to be honest, I love a lot about it. I love the curating. I love art. I love the collectability. I love connecting and engaging with people, meeting new people. So I guess I'm just one of those people that likes so many aspects of collecting, if that's fair.
Yeah. What are your favorite Star Wars movies? Or do you rather not want to say?
No, I mean it's gotta be Empire Strikes Back. I mean, New Hope was my first, but Empire's my love. I love the AT-AT, the snow. When Empire came out, I was just in that period of my life where I was enamored by snow and the bad guys, and just who doesn't love a good AT-AT, right? The omniscient of the AT-AT walking in the snow. And so I would have to say Empire is my favorite,
It's a well-told story as well. It's just well done.
For sure. For sure.
Are there any of the new movies that like the second trilogy and then the third trilogy? What are your thoughts on those?
Yeah, and so I was a big fan of the Clone Wars series when they came out. I love the movies. Like many people, I thought there was a lot of CGI, right? And Lucas loved to go CGI on it, but at the same time, I liked the story. I was one of the minorities, I guess, that liked the story. And then again, when my son started getting older, he grew up with Clone Wars, and so that just pulled me in and made me just a huge Clone War fan. And then And I love Clone Wars probably as much as any of the movies. But then fast forward to the latest sequence, when Force Awakens came out, I was just like everybody else. I couldn't wait to see another Star Wars movie. I probably had expectations that were unfair, right? Off the charts. So I did enjoy Force Awakens a lot. I wish I enjoyed it a lot more than a lot. But then the next one and the one after that was just a little less for me each time. But I'm still a huge fan. I can tolerate Star Wars even if it doesn't necessarily meet my high expectations. I'll still love it. I'll still talk about it because it's Star Wars, right?
Yeah. It's really complicated. I think the whole Star Wars, excuse me, in media, talking as a tourist here, it's like having a milkshake where you've got these ingredients, the original ingredients, and then all through the years, it's still a milkshake, but the ingredients change. They have to change. There's no other way around it. It just simply has to change. It's still good. It's just not the same. It's all right.
Exactly.
I really do think that, I don't know, those last three movies, there are a lot that I like about them. They are not at all the same as the original movies, like not at all. But if you take them on their own, they're no worse than any other movie, really. I like the last one a lot, but anyway. But what did you think of the standalone movies like Han Solo and
huge Rogue One fan. I love Rogue One. I mean, it had that. To me, it was the part 2 of New Hope. Like, we had no idea we needed it. It just. I love everything about Rogue One. I love the directing. I loved all the actors, the characters, the story writing. Just amazing. It came out with some great sketch cards. Ingrid, I have some of yours from Rogue One. I just love that movie, and it's the movie that we didn't know we needed to have. It's loved it.
Epic story, a tragedy. It's really well acted, I find, anyways. It really is a really great standalone story.
100%.
Oh, well, we'll see what happens in the future with everything that's coming out. What do you dislike about the hobby? Is there anything that you don't like about trading cards, sketch cards, or collecting in general?
Yeah, fair question. And to be honest, it's bittersweet because I think we as fans have become so critical. And I think, and I'm guilty too. Like I said earlier, like, we have expectations for Disney or Star Wars and where it should go. And we're human. We can't help ourselves. But I think often we set ourselves up for some failure because we expect this and we get that instead. But I think what bothers me the most, and it's just the way the universe is how we as fans probably just react too negatively, too much and too often, and we can't stop ourselves on social media from saying anything we feel. And sometimes we rip into things that Ingrid Hardy may love very much, but somebody just rips into it, and then without thinking about what they might be saying and how that might affect others, right? But again, that's social media. That's the world we live in. It is what it is. Yeah. And I will flip the coin over though and say that at the same time, there's a lot of, I would say, hate, or people feel like they can dump all their feelings, but there's a lot of good stuff out there too, and there's a lot of great people that are giving back, and social media has united us in a lot of ways, and it's allowed us to come together and share our passion. So I think it's kind of a double-sided coin, right? It's the social media platform is giving us an opportunity to be negative, but then it's also brought so many people together to be positive. So, but beyond that, I mean, again, I love Star Wars so much, so it's hard to pick on any one thing and say I don't like that.
It sounds like you might actually be taking that passion a little bit further than Star Wars eventually. Well, obviously with your Lego, which like, my mind is blown. You're going to be connected. You're going to be creating directions for that R2?
Yeah. We've got a couple guys they work for the Brick Collective, and they're in Germany. And I connected through them on social media, or with them on social media. And basically, I came to them with the physical model and said, "Hey guys," and I'd actually put him into into a digital model. Actually, I put them into digital model, but building instructions is not my forte. So I basically went out and made a call for help with some people, and then I got connected with Brick Collective, and they are in the process right now. And by the way, one of the guys at Brick Collective is an engineer, and I am not an engineer. And so what he has done is he's gone through my model and found the weak points, and he's improving those. So I have a generation 1, we call it Mark 1, and right now Mark 2 is the new model. It's currently in development. It's going to be renovated in every way. It's going to be even more aesthetically accurate to the movies, and then the insides from a stability standpoint are getting an overhaul. Wow. And so that's happening. The instructions are being built. It's a mega project. There's about 33,000 Lego in Mark 1.
I was just going to ask about that.
Yeah. I mean, it's a big project, and it's not going to be for everybody. The model Lego has gotten.
Is it?
What's that?
That's not a weekend project. It took you.
No, it's not. And Lego is very expensive, and even in the last 10 years, it's gotten more expensive. So right now, it's a scary price, somewhere between $5,000 and $9,000 per R2, because it's just so expensive, and there's motors and gears in there and lights and the whole 9 yards. So it won't be for everybody.
No.
But there'll be enough of these units out there, I think, for shows, hopefully they'll show up at Lego conventions and that kind of thing.
Really
that it should create some excitement and buzz,
You should have some trading cards or something included with the kit.
That would be awesome. Maybe I could find a sketch artist to help me with that.
Hey, there you go. So you don't see yourself stopping collecting anytime soon?
No way. No, I don't. And I've already started talking to my wife. She'd kill me if I said this, but I'm like, honey, eventually I'm going to run out of room in this room,
Oh no.
So,
no.
So there's a part 2 in the works, but it's, we're probably a year or 2 out from that. We'll see.
Oof, you're going to be you're going to be having quite the intense. You're going to have people lining up at the door to see what you've done.
We'll see.
So do you have any advice for people who are getting into collecting, or what they can do with their cards? Because you're the epitome of finding the perfect solution to collect to showcase.
Yeah. So I'll speak to cards, and I do have a couple of how-tos out there, carousels on Instagram too for new collectors that I welcome anybody to go out. But one of the common themes that I try to put out there in my how-tos with card collecting, and it's going to seem counterintuitive because it might pull people away from me, but my answer is do your research. And so a lot of my reels are consistent where don't just go out and start buying cards. I mean, everybody has a budget. I have a budget. Everybody has a budget. And do yourself a favor, just do some research. Start looking on eBay, start looking on 130point.com. Start figuring out like, what do I want to buy? How much is it going to cost me? What is a fair price? How much am I going to have to invest in this hobby? So think, do your research is one of the common themes. But number 2, kind of building into your first question, if you're going to do something like this, like a room, there's 2 thoughts. Number 1, have a plan, have a thought or a general direction of what you want a vision of what you want your space to look like, right? What I see too often is, and I know I would be this way too in a lot of ways, I just want to buy a DTOF and just get started and put stuff in there, which by the way, that's okay. But think about a bigger picture. Like, are you going to need 3 DTOFs, or do you envision needing more space? But because that way you can kind of think about lighting and all these other things that can help accompany your setup, versus if you just dive in and go. But once you have a plan, absolutely, you don't have to build a Taj Mahal in one day. Just start, start buying small. Buy that first DTOF, buy the second one. But my point is, try to have a vision, if you can, for what you want the final to be. And that will help guide some of your early decisions in terms of your construction and how you decide to do things. And then you'll appreciate it more, because you'll feel like it was kind of put together with thought, and the lighting will be right and that kind of thing. So have a vision, even if you don't go in and do something crazy like I've done, which is build it all at once, but then just incrementally add to it over time, work into that vision over time. Does that make sense?
Yeah, actually it does. And that could actually apply to, for instance, if you just have a corner in your house, you just look at that corner and make a plan and
bingo.
And
Bingo.
kind of think about how you can put as much stuff in that corner.
Yeah.
And be able to enjoy it with a chair and maybe a cup of coffee or something. Yeah.
Right.
It's really nice to be able to enjoy the things I'm a huge book fan. Like I love books. That takes a lot of room in a house, and there's always a bit of conflict. Well, there are too many books, too many bookshelves, But at least being able to curate that collection and having a nice place where you can sit down and just look at your books and be inspired, or sit down, look at your cards and be inspired, because in the end, that's why you have all that stuff, so you can see it and be inspired by it and let it do its thing in your life.
100%.
It's
100%.
So where can people find you so that they can enjoy all this amazing stuff?
Yeah, well, number one, I'm wearing my advertisement here.
Okay,
so
this is where everyone has to pause the video, take your phone out.
So you can get here by my QR code, but I am Star Wars Card Crazy on Instagram. So if you go out and find Star Wars Card Crazy, that is me. And I do answer all my messages. So, if you have any questions at all, feel free to message me. If you're new and getting started, don't know where to start, just ask me a question. Or if you've been doing it for a while and you have some questions about Galaxy Chrome and where to get started there, let me know. But yeah, Star Wars Card Crazy on Instagram, but I'm right here too.
Awesome. So where's your corner that you're going to start collecting stuff for Kenobi? Have you watched?
Oh man, it's great you asked that question. I actually have a bay for Black Series anyway. So I have a bay right here that's empty still. That's going to be a Kenobi setup.
Oh, yes.
Sure.
Yes. Awesome.
But I do have some free room. I don't know if you can see it. I have some space down here. I am going to be doing some reorganizing so that I can, make more room for new stuff that's coming out, because it's not just Kenobi, right? We have Andor and there's a Bad Batch. We have Ahsoka coming out. I'm a huge Ahsoka fan, so yeah, I'm going to have to, free up some space for some of these new themes that are coming out for sure.
Cool. I'm going to keep watching your Instagram to see what you do with those spaces and what you call
awesome.
It. All right. Well, I'll let you go. I know you're on the clock.
Okay.
Thank you so much. I really would like to have you, excuse me, I'd like to have you back on again. I'd like to go, now that I've seen all this, I have a few questions of my own. I'd like to ask another time when we have more time to explore them.
Anytime you want.
Thank you so much. Everyone can look in the show notes below and you'll find links to David Dickson's outstanding collection. And your Lego just blows me away.
Thank you.
My kids had Lego growing up. My son especially really appreciated that. Yeah, Lego, love it. All right.
Awesome.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you, David. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I can't wait to talk to you again.
Thank you for having me.